to attain the Supreme God and to get his real benefit. There is evidence in the Holy Bible that God created man in his own form. He created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th day. There is evidence in Quran Sharif that God himself is saying to Hazrat Muhammad that I have sent you to tell the glory of that Supreme God. That God is Kabir, who created the universe in 6 days and sat on the throne on the 7th day. Ask about him from Tattvadarshi saint to unravel all these mystical secrets. Must listen the nectar words of Jagat Guru Tattvadarshi Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, based on the holy scriptures of all religions.
Now see with what speed this knowledge will go to the world. Our aim is that whole human society should be aware of this true spiritual knowledge, due to which there is the race for money, there is hue and cry to grab it. The person neither sees brother nor son nor mother nor anything. Siblings fight with each other. Every day violence has increased. Bribe is being taken to earn money, damn it. We hear in the newspapers that kings take bribes, judges take bribes. The fire of money has broken out, then what is left on this earth which living beings will survive? Virtuous souls, these governments might make many laws, but there will be no benefit at all. With this spiritual knowledge, the creature will hate these dirty deeds. He will realize, where will I keep this money? I'll set fire to it. Sin will be with me and money will not stay with me. So, on this basis, there will be peace in the whole world. We will be able to spend a lot of time in the devotion of God. Now, day and night, there is trickery to accumulate money. Keep remembering formulas, how to add money. And money will be received only as is destined. One cannot get more. And after coming in the shelter of God, Kabir Ji, even if it is not in your destiny, God will give. Now God, Kabir Ji says,
जैतना राज पाठ भी चाहिए हमरा दर ले ध्यान.
Like I will narrate a story because this is the benefit of 5 days of discourse. I cannot narrate all because I will be able to narrate only partial glory of God to you in 5 days. Even if this satsang is heard for 6 months continuously, like this, still I may not be able to tell the complete glory of God. But I will definitely tell you enough so that you will not fail. Your work will be done. Like a child bought a motorcycle, learned to ride it, learned to kick it, learned to put the key and learned to gear it and started riding. Now, he needed only this much knowledge, more than it is not necessary. If it gets damaged, he should have knowledge that he is able to clean the plug. Yet, if any defect comes in it, then there are mechanics. Take it there. So this vehicle named Ram is given to you. I will definitely give you enough knowledge that you can apply gear and run it and should not hit it anywhere. This much knowledge, whoever will listen to this discourse continuously for 5 days will definitely have enough knowledge. We don't need to be more knowledgeable. This is all we need, because if we want to become an engineer, then for what the course will be in new way. So the servant will definitely give you enough knowledge that you will be able to drive this vehicle named Ram. You will not fail, and rest God has prepared these very big parts. Engineers have prepared by setting up a factory, those parts separate. That is a different procedure. God had kept the spare parts of this vehicle named Ram. In these scriptures, the servant is made the engineer of the spiritual vehicle. And the servant has taken out this engine part from the shop of spare parts and made this vehicle named Ram and gave it to you. Now you enjoy it, what you have to do, how you have to drive, how you have to keep it safe. Don't have to break the rules, meaning don't have to take the car down the road in potholes. Don't worship other gods. This mantra chanting has been given to you. Put on this gear, kick it and ride it. Do your work, do devotion and also remember God. So, pious souls, now I will tell you a story that God comes and meets his beloved souls. One of them was respected Dharamdas Sahib Ji. In yesterday's satsang, you were told that Dharamdas Ji had gone to take bath in Mathura's pilgrimage where Lord Sri Krishna Ji once lived for a few days as told by his Guru for the purpose of salvation, and he was considering it as a virtue. On the other hand, God appeared there in the form of a Jinda Mahatma to remove darkness of his beloved soul, to destroy ignorance, to get rid of the arbitrary worship, to save him from Kal's trap, as you have just learned in Rigved Mandal number 9, Suk number 1, Mantra number 8, that adverse conditions inspire that God obtains an indestructible body, that God incarnates in 3 ways for the welfare of others. In one form, he lives in his Satlok in his original body. And the second condition is that he appears here in body, he comes in infant form. And the third is that he appears in other forms whenever he wills. Garib Das Ji says that
अनंत कोट अवतार है ये नौ चित वे बुद्धि नासी खालक खिल खलक में है 6 ऋतु 12 मास.
there are infinite incarnations of that God. Infinite times he appears here, innumerable times, and these no chitve buddhinash, that is, brainless people, believe in only 9 incarnations. And wo khalik khele khalak mein, they are considering only these 9 incarnations as God. There are infinite incarnations of that God, and wo khalik khele khalak mein 6 ritu 12 maas. And what does God tell?
जहाँ जन की महिमा सुनो ता मैं गमन करंत वो तो नगर निश्चिंत बसो जहाँ मेरे प्यारे संत.
Vedas tell that God comes in speed and comes in our spiritual sacrifices. He remains secretly even in spiritual rituals, comes and meets good souls. God himself also says, Jahan jan se mahima sunu, where I am glorified, where my knowledge is propagated, ta main gaman karant, I reached there in one moment.
पहुंचूंगा क्षण एक में जन अपने के काज हिरण्यकशिपु जो मार दूं और नरसिंह धर लूं साज.
Here God says, where I hear the glory of God, I go there in a moment with speed.
और वो तो नगर निश्चिंत रहो जहां मेरे प्यारे संत.
Where my beloved souls live, it is said, I will not let any harm be done to those cities. At one place in the Holy Bible, it is written that God reached a person and told him that there is an uproar in that city and people have become unjust. I will destroy that city. So that devotee asked, Lord, if your 10 devotees live in that city, will you still destroy it? God said, no. Even if 10 devotees live there, I will not destroy that city. Then he asked, even if only 2 devotees live there, will you still destroy it? No. Even if 1 devotee lives there, I will not destroy that city. Virtuous souls, here God says,
जहाँ जन की महिमा सुनो तहाँ मैं गमन करंत और वो तो नगर निश्चिंत रहो जहाँ मेरे प्यारे संत.
By souls, a whole city remains safe because of 1 devotee, no matter how useless a person they are. That's why it is said that if there were no saints in the world would have burnt and destroyed. So God lives in every era, lives in every moment, but keeps his conditions secret. At that time, no one can recognize him, otherwise Kal will set fire here. That God acts as ice in this Kal's burning world, and God has made a secret place for himself in each universe, like an embassy. And living there also, he gives us a lot of relief. Virtuous souls, this is Kal. And you must have seen in Gita Ji, Kal shows his giant form, then even a warrior like Arjun trembles, and we were considering him as God. So virtuous souls, among those pious souls whom God comes and meets, one is respected Dharamdas Ji, about whom you are told that he had reached Mathura to attain salvation on the basis of initiation received from Kal's agent, his Guruji, named Roop Das. You were told yesterday that Dharamdas Ji took a bath in that pond, did idolatry, changed God's clothes, then recited Gita Ji after burning incense sticks. Then God had tried to explain a lot of knowledge, but Dharamdas Ji did not agree. Seeing all the knowledge, even after seeing the evidence in Gita Ji, he became displeased with God and had said that, I do not do violence to any living being, because God Kabir Ji was present there in the form of a Jinda, Mahatma, a Muslim fakir. Dharamdas Ji had commented that I do not do violence to animals. The point was that you are a Muslim, you eat flesh and slaughter. That's why your salvation cannot happen. We will attain salvation. This was Dharamdas Ji's point. The next day Dharamdas Ji cooked food, but being aware of the truth, he could not do worship which he used to do every day. There was aching within for God that please give me an audience for once, then I will never object and will listen to entire knowledge. The next day in the morning, on time, he wanted to cook food. Many ants were burnt in the wood that was supposed to be used for cooking. Lakhs of ants were burning in the remaining piece of wood. Dharamdas Ji was completely shocked. Devotees are kind souls. He immediately trembled that crores of ants are burnt in today's food. It was such a big wood, and I do not know how many ants along with eggs burnt inside it. I will not eat this food. I will atone for this. For this, he found an alternative himself. He finds a way to atone for this, that I will feed this food to a saint, and I will keep fast today. These sins of mine will be cut off today, which I incurred due to dead ants. With this purpose, taking all the food, he went out in search of the saint. Now God says, God acquired the form of a Hindu monk and sat under a tree. Dharamdas Ji said, Lord monk, take food. You must be hungry. God said, yes, Dharamdas, I am hungry. When God called Dharamdas, he saw how this man knows me. Then he thought that I do a lot of religion. Sages, saints come. He must be knowing me. He kept food. God Kabir had a pot full of water kept nearby, took water from it and chanted mantras and sprinkled it on all bread and vegetables, murmured a mantra. All the rice, all the vegetables and bread became ants. The whole plate turned black. Herds of ants started coming out of the plate within their eggs in their mouths. Then God turned in the form of the same Jinda Mahatma, in which there was a conversation held with Dharamdas Ji on the first day, and said, "O Dharamdas, even a butcher is better than you. You were saying that you do not do violence to living beings. You are no less than a butcher. Today you have committed so many sins, and now you have come to feed me." He fell at God's feet, held his feet and said, "God, I am a very sinful soul. O Lord, there is a lot of power in your knowledge, and my heart has been sifted, made me broken, but I could not accept your knowledge due to my pride. but kept changing sides all night. Yearning to get you, I kept pleading that Mahatma, that saint, should once again give me an audience, so I will never object again. I will not dispute. Because God Kabir Ji had disappeared in front of him. Then God said, "Okay, Dharamdas, now listen to the Ram story that I want to tell you. What do you say? What do you practice? Now what talks take place between that soul and God?"
ज्ञान सुना दे विधि बता दे, हो मेरा कल्याण भक्त मैं अर्ज करूं। ज्ञान सुना दे विधि बता दे, हो मेरा कल्याण भक्त मैं अर्ज करूं।
When God Kabir Dev Ji met for the first time, it is said, he was calling him a great sage and calling himself a servant, that Dharamdas, let me know such a method by which my welfare will be done.
ज्ञान सुना दे विधि बता दे, हो मेरा कल्याण भक्त मैं अर्ज करूं। धर्मदास जब न्यो बोला, 68 तीर्थ नाऊंगा। धर्मदास जब न्यो बोला, 68 तीर्थ नाऊंगा। गीता जी का पाठ करता हूँ, इस विध मुक्ति पाऊंगा। गीता जी का पाठ करता हूँ, इस विध मुक्ति पाऊंगा। राम कृष्ण के गुण गाऊंगा, मिल स्वर्ग में स्थान भक्त में अर्ज करूं। ज्ञान सुना दे विधि बता दे, हो मेरा कल्याण भक्त में अर्ज करूं।
Once upon a time, Brahmaji and Vishnuji had a dispute with each other, that Brahmaji said, "I am the creator of the universe," and Vishnuji, "You are my son. You have originated from me." And Vishnuji says, "No, I am your father. You originated from my navel lotus." How do these gods have such illusion? Kal gets this done. Like sages and great sages tried to meditate to attain God, because when Brahmaji was sitting on the lotus flower and came to his senses, he was young, so he saw where I was sitting. There is water everywhere, no earth is visible, so immediately he thought, what do I do? Kal made a celestial announcement, do penance, do penance. Brahmaji did penance for 1,000 years. Then he said to create. Now this battery was charged. By doing penance, he attained powers. He was already possessed by Rajogun and gave him the work of creation. He cannot create. We get influenced by Rajogun in him, like there is chili. And there are 2 or 3 rooms in a house and there is a kitchen in it. When the chilies are sizzled in the kitchen, even the person sitting in the 3rd room starts sneezing because that thing is in the form in the kitchen, but its formless quality is influencing there. Similarly, these waves emanating from Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are inspiring all the living beings. And on the basis of all 3, we are compelled to do our respective activities, like someone got drunk. So it is not in his control where his feet move, how he speaks, he walks stumbling. Similarly, he walk stumbling and speak nonsense. This is how we are getting intoxicated. So this happens because of 3 qualities. So sages and saints practiced force worship because Brahmaji thought that the celestial announcement is of God, but it was of Kal because he remains unmanifested. He does not come in front of anyone. He remains hidden due to his powers. He is in form. As in Gita Ji, he is clarifying in chapter 7, verses 24-25, that these foolish people, that is, ignorant community, consider me to have come in human birth like Krishna Ji because he was speaking in Krishna. He says, I am not Krishna. I never manifest in front of anyone. I do not come in form. This is my unique, inferior, low, firm rule, and I remain hidden with my powers. I do not appear before anyone. In Gita Ji chapter 4 verses 5 and 9 it has been said that I and you have had many births. My birth and deeds are supernatural. In such a way his deeds are supernatural. He does not come in front of anyone by entering inside someone or by motivating or by creating some such qualities in him. He gets his work done. So sages and great sages to attain God, Brahmaji got Vedas later. There is no mention of force worship anywhere in the Vedas. Rather, it is strictly forbidden that foolish people do force worship because Vedas have been given by God Kabirji. And Kal has forwarded it as it is. It has been said from verses 1 to 7 of Gita Ji chapter 17. Like it is said in Gita Ji chapter 16 verse 23 that those who abandon the scriptures and act arbitrarily, they neither get happiness nor any achievement, neither do they attain salvation. Useless. So in Gita Ji chapter 17 verse 1, Arjun has asked that who worship other deities by their own will, abandoning the injunctions of the scriptures, how are those people? What kind of attitude do they have? So it has been said that whoever worships any deity, the worshipper of Vishnu Ji is somewhat Satogun, and the worshipper of Rajogun Brahma is Rajogun. The worshipper of Shankar has an excess of Tamogun. Now, virtuous souls, what is the problem? This knowledge had been taken to -0 by these agents of Kal and had messed up, have ruined spiritual knowledge. And from this minus it has to be brought to 100%. That's why so much effort is being made. It is the same holy scripture which we used to consider to be all-pervading, used to consider having true knowledge. Today there is evidence in them and it is forbidden what we used to do. Now see, first I will show you Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Published from Gita Press, Gorakhpur, Jai Dayal Goenka is its translator. Now see in Gita Ji chapter 16, verse 23, it has been said that the man who abandons the method of scriptures and behaves arbitrarily with his own will, chants arbitrarily, worships arbitrarily, which is not described in Gita and Vedas, he does against it. He does not achieve any power nor salvation and not even happiness. Now in the 24th verse of 16th chapter, this is the last verse of chapter 16. In the state of what should be done and what should not be done, scripture is the only evidence for you. Knowing this, you are entitled to act only in accordance with the scriptures. Immediately Arjun asked in chapter 17, verse 1, that, O Krishna, those people who leave the scriptures and worship gods with reverence, then what is their state? Is it sattvic, rajasi or tamasi? Now number 2, chapter 17, verse 2. That faith of humans devoid of sacraments, born of their nature, is of 3 types, sattviki, rajasi and tamasi. Hear about that from me. Kal is saying this, is spoken by God. Kal is speaking after entering into Sri Krishna. Listen. In the third, it has been said, O Bharat, listen, the faith of every person is in accordance with their inner self, and thus men's community, therefore, who has faith like man, he himself is like that. Means whichever deity he worships, he is like that only. Now it has become clear that look at this. Those who abandon scriptures and behave arbitrarily are God worshippers. They are worshippers of God. Sattvic men worship gods. These good souls worship the God, but it is against scriptures. And Rajas men worship yakshas. Demons worship for the benefit of money. And these others who are tamas men, they worship spirits and ghosts, carry out shraddh, etc. and do occult. In fifth, it has been said that those men who only practice arbitrary, severe austerity according to their will against scriptures, oh God, they are equipped with hypocrisy and arrogance, and also are equipped with desires, attachment, power. Now in sixth, chapter 17, verse 6. The ignorance who torture the chiefs of the living beings and the complete God dwelling with the living being in the heart lotus of the body means they trouble who practice wrong, do force worship and penance, consider those ignorance to be of demonic nature only. Oh, there is much ahead. This is enough for us. Now it has been clarified in Srimad Bhagavad Devi Puran, the third skand, that Sri Brahmaji did severe penance for 1000 years. Kal has got it done by making a celestial announcement. It has been forbidden in Vedas and Gita that those who perform severe penance are demonic in nature, and they trouble me too because all the gods reside inside this body, and Kal Niranjan also lives within Sahanshar lotus, that is, he is present in every living being. So it has now become clear that forced worship should not be done, and those who do this, it is arbitrary behavior by abandoning the scripture, and the worship of other gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, is also other worship. It is also arbitrary behavior by abandoning the scriptures. Now the question we were asking was that once these sages by Brahmaji and the celestial announcement received due to Kal's inspiration that do austerity, but when Vedas were read it was found to chant only Om Mantra, performing austerity was nowhere mentioned in it. Virtuous souls, again it has to be clear to you because this is spiritual knowledge. And you have got a chance, God has shown mercy, you are called here due to any reason, whether someone is troubled and has come, or someone is a beloved soul of God and has come to gain knowledge. Blessed you are, and blessed are your parents from whom you are born. In this Kali Yuga, in such a dire time, and you got this nectar knowledge, this situation is available to you today with the help of both the grace of God and your virtuous past karma. Now I want to show you that they have changed the definition of penance. Now the penance which is written in the scriptures, like the penance of speech, is called penance. Let me show you the evidence in Gita Ji. Now see, in this holy Gita Ji, very decisive knowledge has been given that we do not have to give up our natural deeds, like whatever are the deeds of Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras. While performing them, we should also worship God. See, Gita Ji chapter 18 verse 45, Gita Ji chapter number 18, and we take from verse number 45. A man intently engaged in his own natural practical actions and acts of true devotion attains supreme spiritual success. The way by which a man engaged in his natural action attains supreme spiritual success, hear that method from me. Now here the knowledge giver of Gita in chapter 18 verse 66 tells about the another supreme God, the God from whom all the living beings have originated. and from whom this whole world has pervaded. By worshipping that God through the performance of one's natural activities, a man attains spiritual success. That is, while performing worldly tasks, whatever are of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Kshudra. This information has been given before. You have read 46, now in 47. One's own religion is superior to another's religion, which is well behaved but devoid of any quality. Look what they have messed up here, damn it, here. It was to be written, they did a wrong translation. It is clear in Sanskrit in Gita Ji, chapter number 18, verse 47. Shreyans swadharma vigunah pardharmat swanushthitat स्वभाव नियतम कर्म kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. Kilbisham means sin. The meaning of this is that Shreyan Swadharma, our religious activities according to scriptures are the best. Viguna Pardharmat Swagunishtat. Others' religious works, no matter how flamboyant and planned they look, that practice is devoid of quality. Shreyan Swadharma, our scripture-based religion, is superior, is the best. They translated wrong. What did they translate? One's well-behavior than another's religion devoid of quality. See where they have messed up. Devoid of quality means who does not have any quality, not even of 1 penny. Our religion is the best. Damn it. That is the worship you are doing, even if it is not of 1 penny, is the best. They did a disaster to this translation. Then what is the use of speaking Gita Ji? Its meaning is Shreyan Swadharma, our scriptural religion is the best. Vigunah Pardharmat Swanushthitat. Swa-anushtitat means which is showy, like they do Mata Ka Jagran, awakening, they dance and sing, see. Now let me tell you, as you must have seen Mata Ka Jagran, awakening, hoy hoy. The singers also dance, listeners also stand and dance, and on film music, Agle Bolo, Jai Mata Ki, it is said, how nice it looks. The whole world goes there to see it because they play tabor on film songs. So, for this purpose, they are saying that no matter how good you feel and how much your soul is attracted, it is another's useless religious activity and your scripture-based worship is the best. Vigun Pardharmat. Others, Vigun means useless, in which there is no benefit of even 1 penny. No matter how well arranged it looks to you, your practice is better than that. Don't abandon it. This is how they did disaster with meanings. Their point is that what you are worshipping, like Hare Ram, Radhe Sham, Radhe Radhe Sham Milade, whether worshipping goddess or someone worships idols, they say that is good. They want to say this thing by doing wrong meaning of Gita Ji, by not understanding Gita Ji's meaning. They misled the whole society. Then what is the use of saying this Gita Ji? If this useless worship was better, then what is the use of speaking this holy scripture? This is how they have messed up. Now see Gita chapter 18, verse 48-47, you have read. In this it is said that, O son of Kunti, because of being faulty also, one should not relinquish the scripture-based act of bhakti while doing sahaj yog, that is, performing tasks according to varnas, because, like fire with smoke, all actions have faults. In 49 it is said that a devout soul with an intellect free from everywhere, free from desires, and who is victorious over wrong deeds, who has renounced all knowledge except Tattvagyan, attains that superior most spiritual success, that is, supreme state, which is The complete salvation, C. Nesh karma, means having gone where there is no work to be done, complete salvation is attained. In 50 it is said, that which is the supreme accomplishment of knowledge, that Nesh karma siddhi, attaining which one attains God. O son of Kunti, understand that from me in brief only. What has been told further related to this in chapter 18, verse 61, it has been clarified. In chapter 18, verse 61, it has been said that, O Arjun, causing all the living beings mounted on the body-like machine to revolve according to their deeds by his Maya, the omniscient God is situated in the heart of all the living beings. It is proved from this that there is some other God other than the knowledge giver of Gita, about whom the knowledge giver of Gita is saying. And immediately after that, in verse 1866, it has been said that, Arjun, you go in the shelter of that God with all your senses. By the grace of that God, you will attain ultimate peace and Sanatan, ultimate abode. Now here the point is, whatever action we are doing cannot be abandoned. Now see verse 14 of chapter 17. Respect of deities, Brahmins, Guru and learned persons, purity, simplicity. This is the meaning of Brahman. Here enlightened saints, simplicity, celibacy and non-violence are said to be austerity related to the body. Now this austerity, other types of austerity has been told, like you have come in the shelter of Supreme Saint, and while serving Guruji you feel any kind of difficulty and non-violence, etc., are said to be austerity related to the body. These are penance, which while practicing deeds like serving Guruji, performing religious rituals. Look ahead. What is said in 15th verse? This is the 15th verse of chapter 17. That which does not cause agitation is pleasing and beneficial speech. And the study of Veda scriptures and the practice of chanting God's mantra only is called austerity related to speech. Here, some mistake has been done in translation, like, that which does not cause agitation is pleasing and beneficial and is true speech, that is, telling the truth, telling the secrets written in the scriptures clearly in front of the public, telling the truth even if someone abuses, someone speaks ill. Reading the Veda scriptures and practicing God's mantra is called austerity related to the speech. Like God Kabir said, the truth, and there was a lot of opposition at that time in the course of telling the truth. What all difficulties God faced is called speech-related austerity. This force worship is not austerity, as now the same rehearsal has happened with the servant which happened with God 600 years back. So this austerity related to speech will give us benefits in God's name to present His speech in true way, deep secrets written in Vedas and scriptures, to tell these secrets in real form, to preach them and to face whatever obstacles and difficulties come in it. This is our austerity related to speech. Like King Harish Chandra spoke the truth, and due to that speech form austerity he had to suffer so much, but in the end its result was good. Such type of penance is described, not this forced worship. See chapter 17, verse number 19 proves aforesaid. It refutes in 17:19 the austerity which is practiced foolishly with stubbornness, by inflicting pain to mind, speech and body, or to cause harm to others. That austerity is said to be tamas. Now we have to make it clear that, as it has been clarified in Gita Ji chapter number 17 and from 1 to 7 verses that those who abandon the injunctions of the scriptures and do arbitrary practice and penance, they also make me sad, and also to all the existing gods residing inside this body. Consider them to be demonic in nature. Now it has also been clarified here in Gita Ji, chapter 17, verse 19, that those who do forced worship by abandoning the scriptures destroy their lives. That is not a scripture-based practice. So just like these sages used to do spiritual practice, used to do penance and read the Vedas and took Om mantra from it in Gita Ji chapter 8 verse 13, the knowledge giver of Gita, Brahma, is saying, Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusamran ye prayati tajam deham sayati paramam gatim. Me, Brahm, has only one Om mantra, and the one who leaves the body remembering this till the last breath attains the ultimate salvation that happens from the Om mantra. Brahmlok is attained by Om mantra. This is the worship of Brahma. Even creatures who have gone to Brahmlok come back in birth and death. It has been clarified in Gita Ji chapter 8 verse 16. So this chanting of mantra Om is also not complete. In Yajurved chapter 40 verse 15, it has been clarified that Om kartyu simar kilve samar kartyum samar bhasmantam shariram vayu anilam atham adhidam bhasmantam shariram amritam. That is, when you leave the body while chanting Om mantra, the immortality of Om level that you have to get for certain days you can stay in Brahmalok, you will get that. Om kirtyu samar kilve samar kartyum samar. That is, chant Om mantra while working, recite with special aching, recite Om mantra considering it as your ultimate duty, first duty of human life. And then the knowledge giver of Gita Ji says that this is my mantra. And if the mantra of that God has to be chanted in Gita Ji chapter 17 verse 23, Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdeshah Brahmana Trividah Smritah, that God, that Paramakshar Brahma, having gone where one never comes back in this world, by which ultimate peace, Sanatan, ultimate abode is attained, to attain that Om Tat Sat are 3 mantras to be chanted in 3 ways, Trividha. Nothing else. Now, virtuous souls, these sages took Om mantra considering it to be of the complete God, like in Sri Devi Bhagavad, Durga herself is saying to Himalayan king that, God, what is the glory of that Brahma? She's saying the glory of Akshar Brahma, that is, of imperishable God. And in the last she is telling the method of Brahma, and Om is his mantra. He lives in Brahmalok. Worship him, may your welfare happen. Now everything has gone wrong here. All these sages considered Om mantra in Vedas to be of complete God, and this is of Brahma. In Gita Ji chapter 15 verse 16 and 17, 3 men, 3 gods are told. First, Kshar Purush, or call Kshar Brahma, or call Kshar Purush. He is Jyoti Niranjan Kal. And Akshar Purush, he is Parabrahma, who is the Lord of 7 quadrillion universes, and Kshar Purush is the Lord of only 21 universes. In the 16th verse of 15th chapter of Gita Ji, it has been said that both these Kshar Purush and Akshar Purush and all the creatures under them, their fleshy body is perishable. The soul does not die of anyone. Then immediately after that, it is said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 17, that Supreme God is someone else. That Supreme God is some other who can be called Almighty, who in reality is called God. He only, by entering into the 3 worlds, sustains everyone. But it did not come to their mind that it is clearly written in this. It has been clarified from verse number 10 to 13 in Yajurved chapter number 40. Some tell God to be Sambhavat, means who takes birth and birth. Sambhavat, who is never born, tell him. Formless, Tattvadarshi saint will tell this information, listen from him. So were their eyes closed that they didn't understand that there is some other knowledge other than Vedas, which Vedas are unable to tell, and the enlightened saint will tell. They themselves concluded, and by which till today they are doing incorrect worship and making us do so. On this basis, sages practiced wrong, did penance, performed worship, force worship, considering celestial announcement to be of God, but it was of Kal, and took home mantra from Vedas with which they gained powers. And when they were practicing, then Kal gave the audience to someone in the form of Brahmaji. So the seeker who was practicing, God was seen to him while meditating in the form of Brahmaji, and asked, "What do you want?" He was given 1 or 2 lumps of turmeric powers. He became happy. The meditation broke. He came to Brahmaji. "You are God. You are Supreme God. You are the creator of the whole universes. And I have had your audience in meditation. You are hiding yourself." He said this to all 20, 30, 50, 100 devotees that he is God himself, and Brahmaji became puffed up that I am God. Because the sage has said, like this Kal inspired 10, 20 sages. On the other hand, Kal has taken a vow that I will never appear to anyone in my real form. He appears in the 4-armed forms of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. As some seeker practiced, performed force worship, he appeared to him in the form of Vishnu and asked, "Tell me, what do you want?" He gave 1 lump of turmeric to him and gave him 1 power, like sage Agast. By performing penance throughout his life, achieved 1 power that I should drink ocean, drink all 7 seas, and by showing that art, he thought he is God. There was hail everywhere that in 1 gulp, sage Agast drank all the 7 seas. He became arrogant. What happened if he drank? Did he become immortal by drinking this water, whether to drink a little or drink all? Things are getting worse here. So just like this, Kal appeared in Vishnu form, because he has taken a vow that I will never come in front of anyone in my real form. You had read clearly in verse 24 and 25 in Gita Ji, chapter 7. Now, see again, children, this is a kind of lecture, and you are a student, a spiritual student, and the servant is a spiritual teacher. I will get you all the syllabus on your fingers in a few days. See to it. This is the same Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse number 25, 26. It has been clearly said that I will not come in front of anyone. I have sworn, this is my firm rule. This is my inferior rule. 7th chapter, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And see here in the 24th verse. Avyaktam vyaktim apanam manyate mam abhyuday. These foolish people consider me unmanifested. To be in human form, consider me Krishna, consider me to have come in Sri Krishna form. Param bhavam ajanat mam avyam anutamam aha. It is written that foolish people, being unaware of my bad, permanent and supreme character, avyaktam, avyakt, means as the clouds appear in front of the sun, at that time it hides, becomes unmanifested, but there it is present in the real form. Here they have done wrong. Beyond the mind and senses, me, Sachidanand Ghan, God is considered to have been born like a human being. Oh, this Kal is speaking. Till now, the translators used to think that Sri Krishna is saying not a human. Sri Krishna Ji was clearly standing in human form. This mindless Anutam means inferior, indestructible, means does not know the firm rule that I never come in front of anyone. Muj vyaktam vyaktim apanam manyate. To me, unmanifested, I, hidden, I never appear in front of anyone. To me, as a person means in human form, consider me in Krishna form. I am not Sri Krishna. He was speaking in Sri Krishna. Now it is clear in 25th C, 7th chapter. I, hidden by my powers, do not appear before anyone. It has been clarified, I remain hidden by my powers, do not appear before anyone. These ignorant people do not know me, unborn, eternal God, I remain hidden by my power, does not appear before anyone. So he is in form but is hiding. Now virtuous souls, the spiritual knowledge will be understood very easily. So this is how his deeds and births are supernatural, that I do not appear before anyone, and these ignorant people, these fools, are not familiar with my indestructible bad principle that I never appear before anyone. I remain hidden in my real form. That's why Kal only appeared to some sages in the form of his sons, to some in Vishnu form, and to some appeared in the form of Shankarji. They started calling Shankarji as Lord Omniscient Maheshwar. To whom he appeared in Vishnuji form, they started calling Vishnuji Maheshwar, Omniscient, Creator of the universes. On the other side, Vishnuji became more impressed by this and expressed happiness that I am God. Now the sage is saying, second is also saying, third is also saying, 100 gave this proof. So both of them got confused that we are God. On this basis, once Brahmaji went to Vishnuji and said, Son, I am your father has come, Vishnu, why don't you stand and welcome me? Vishnuji, while lying on the snake bed, says that, come son, you are born from my navel lotus, I am your father, and how do you speak in front of the father? On this, both quarrelled. Shoes then took out weapons. The army came, they started fighting like children. Now to clear one concept, this servant has to tell you so many stories and has to give many proofs. What?
मुल्ला माया मग में बैठी हंसा चुन चुन खाई ये ज्योत स्वरूपी कहे निरंजन में ही करता बाई.
And as you heard in this hymn,
ऋषि मुनि निराकार बतावे साकार कहे पुराण तने अपनी महिमा आप गाई जीव कहे भगवान तने.
you yourself became God and you have forgotten God. To clear this concept, let me show you Puran. This Kal says that I am the doer, no one else is a doer, and tells Vishnuji and Brahmaji that you are not God. See this. Shiv Mahapuran, Part 1 with Hindi commentary, and from where it is published. It has both Sanskrit and Hindi. Shri Shiv Mahapuran. This has been written by Vidya Varidhi Pandit Jwala Prasad Ji Mishra along with Hindi commentary. Khemraj Sri Krishnadas Publication, Mumbai, so and so. Ath Shri Shiv Mahapuran Bhasha Tikashitam Prarambhyate. See, this is on page 11, Vidveshwar Samhita, Part 1 in Chapter 6. It starts from here. Nandikeshwar said, O Yogendra, once Lord Vishnuji was sleeping on the snake bed along with Garud, etc., other counselors, and Lakshmiji, means he was lying. At that time, look, Brahmaji, superior amongst spiritual scholars, willingly came and started asking from the lotus-eyed Vishnuji, who was sleeping on a beautiful bed, who are you? Superior among spiritual scholars is asking, who are you? Who even after seeing me is sleeping like an arrogant man, means you are sleeping. O Vats, my son, get up, look, I, your Lord, has come. The one who takes pride seeing Guru's arrival, that stupid fool should regret. Hearing this, Vishnuji got annoyed from within. He got angry from inside, but by not revealing from outside, what did he say? But remained calm outside and said, Vats, son, I bless you. For your well-being, come sit on this chair. Why are your eyes twisted and face curved at this time? Why are you being crooked? He was getting angry. Eyes were twisted like this, like bulls before hitting. Look twisted. Why are you being crooked? Why are your eyes and face twisted? Why are you annoyed? Brahmaji said, O Vats, O son Vishnu, you are being proud due to the effect of time. O son, I am your protector and the father of the universe. Vishnuji said, this entire universe resides within me. Like a thief, why do you say it's yours? You originated from my navel lotus, so you are my son. It's a waste to call me your son. Nandikeshwar said, in this way, Brahma ji and Vishnu ji both, being fascinated by Rajogun, started arguing. Aha, I am superior, I am the Lord. With the intention to kill each other, they got excited and started fighting. Oh, now look ahead. Then all the deities came sitting in the plain. Brahmaji, Vishnuji were fighting, and these deities sitting in the plain came to watch that amazing war and started showering flowers on them from the sky. Wow, deities! As the bulls are called animals in the villages, bulls, and they say, hur hur, fight, fight. These gods shower flowers from the sky. They should have said that, gods, if you fight, then what will happen to us? You keep peace. They should have interfered like this and would have protected them. And our gods shower flowers from above, sitting in the plain. Look at this. Wow. Now the point is, now, pious souls, these scriptures are not written by the servant. These scriptures were written by Ved Vyas ji 5500 years ago. They have done translation. I'm reading and telling you. In these, what is the status of these gods, Brahmaji and Vishnuji, whom we used to worship considering as omniscient and Maheshwar? The intelligence is like that of children. Like the children of 3rd and 4th classes fight with each other. And then they go to the teacher. He asks the reason of war, of their quarrel. One says that he said, I am your father. And the other says that he said before. He said like this, that I am your father. That's why they are tearing shirts, pulling their collar. He beats him, he beats him. Damn it. These gods. He tells him, son, war broke out between the two. Now their father came in between. When there was a fight between these two, he raised a shining pillar in the middle, which is called Shivling. And it shines like a diamond. It was straight, long, and has no end. A very shining pillar stood like ice is peeled and is made like a radish. Understand, like this, very long and wide, like this, long and wide. So they stopped fighting and started searching for its starting and end points. Where is its end? Now, not narrating the entire story, we come to the conclusion. So at the same time, this Kal came in the form of Shiv. He has taken an oath that I will not give audience to anyone in my real form. He came there acquiring the form of his son Shivji. And see what he said to both of them. Look, this is page number 17 of Pious Shiv Puran and Vidveshwar Samhita chapter 9. Now we will read from here. It is said that, aiming to remove ignorance and enmity of both, Kal said to both of them when he appeared there, not to tell much, we will take of our interest. He said to both of them that there are two forms of me, Sakal, in shape, and Nishkal means formless. See what definition this Kal is telling of being in form and formless look. Where all of them got confused, I have distinct two forms. In shape, Sakal and formless, Nishkal. But there is no other God. No one else is God.
आप सुन रहे थे जगत गुरु तत्वदर्शी संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी के मंगल प्रवचन। अधिक जानकारी के लिए विजिट कीजिए हमारी वेबसाइट www.jagatgururampalji.org। संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी के शुभ आशीर्वाद से पूरे विश्व भर में 500 से भी ज्यादा नाम दीक्षा केंद्र हैं, जिन पर संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी द्वारा ऑनलाइन निशुल्क नाम दीक्षा दी जा रही है। अपने नजदीकी नाम दीक्षा केंद्र का पता करने के लिए संपर्क करें 8222880541।